All right, these are notes on the circulatory system. I've got my little post-it up here. Function of the circulatory system is the transport and circulation of oxygenated blood, deoxygenated blood, nutrients, wastes, immune cells. An important procedure is the EKG/ECG. Both of these abbreviations mean the exact same thing. It's just the electrocardiogram with a K is the German spelling. An EKG/ECG, the electrocardiogram, it shows the electrical activity of the heart. Coronary arteries are important because coronary arteries provide the cardiac muscle with oxygenated blood. So the coronary arteries give the heart muscle its supply of oxygenated blood that it needs. All right, so you should have a little slip of paper that you can turn into an insert. On this insert, you're going to sketch the heart on the ventral side because you need to label each one of these items. So this is a list. I would suggest maybe like having this insert so that you can flip it up and then put this underneath, listed on the paper underneath. When I did my diagram, I used color and abbreviations. So like for left atrium, when I put it on my diagram, I just put LA in that spot. Left ventricle, I just put LV, but that's up to you. And then whenever I had different parts of each one of these arteries, then I would label either a different color or something like that to connect it. So aorta, brachiocephalic artery, circumflex artery, left anterior descending artery, left atrium, left common carotid artery, left coronary artery, left subclavian artery, left ventricle, right atrium, right common carotid artery, right coronary artery, right subclavian artery, and the right ventricle. All of those need to be diagrammed on your insert. Okay, so another thing. Now this, all of these labels, this is part of the course file check. So simply having these notes, having this picture on here, having this list gets you good enough to have a grade for your notes. However, for the course file check, if these things aren't shown on the heart picture, then you will get a 0 for that component in the course file check. Remember, that's a test grade, so we don't want that. All right, so same thing for this page. Just to get your grade for the notes, you need to have the insert, and then you need to have the notes beneath it, which I'll show you in just a minute. But for your course file check, all of these spots also need to be labeled appropriately. All right, so we have artery structures, vein structures, capillary structures. So I have artery structures at the top because artery is the first one on here, vein structures in the middle because veins in the middle, capillary structures to match up with where capillary is at on the insert. Artery structures and vein structures, they both share these 4 components here. Artery structures are different from veins in that they have a thicker wall than the vein or capillary. So I highlighted / underlined this in blue because that pertains only to artery structures. Both arteries and veins have a tunica media, and it contains lots of smooth muscle and elastic fibers to control the artery's diameter, or vein. A tunica externa, this is the outermost layer. It is composed of collagen and elastic fibers. Tunica intima is the innermost layer of the artery or vein. It is an endothelial layer. And we've seen the word lumen before, so lumen is the space where blood flows. This last component is highlighted only green because it only applies to vein structures. Veins have valves. So the valves in veins help blood flow back to the heart despite the pull of gravity. Capillary structures. The walls of capillaries have a very thin layer of endothelial cells, and that makes it permeable to oxygen and carbon dioxide. Capillary structures, they do not need muscular walls because it's a very low blood pressure. This is where gas diffusion takes place. Oxygen and carbon dioxide, it is passive diffusion between the cells and the vessels. So no energy is required. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are diffusing along their concentration gradient. So in a capillary, there's usually more oxygen, so it diffuses into the cells. There's more waste products, carbon dioxide in the cells, so it diffuses into the capillaries. It goes from high concentration to low concentration. All right, so this is a separate page, and all of these terms on this one and the next page, all of these are on the same page. Heart rate, that's how many beats per minute, abbreviated BPM. Your pulse is the expansion/relaxation of an artery. Your resting heart rate is the beats per minute when you're relaxed. Normal resting heart rate is from 60 to 100 beats per minute. Your blood pressure is the force of blood against the arteries. We've looked at blood pressure before. Systolic pressure is on the top, diastolic pressure is on the bottom. mmHg, this is our metric unit for blood pressure. Systolic pressure is the high pressure reading, and so this is the arterial pressure when the heart contracts. Diastolic pressure is pressure when the heart is at rest. We've seen this term before too, sphygmomanometer. That's the blood pressure cuff. Your blood pressure is taken at the brachial artery. Cardiac output. This is the volume of blood in 1 minute pumped by both ventricles. Cardiac output is in milliliters per minute, which equals your heart rate, your beats per minute, times your stroke volume, milliliters per beat. So cardiac output is the volume of blood in 1 minute pumped by both the ventricles. To find your cardiac output, to find how many milliliters per minute, that's the unit for cardiac output, you do your heart rate in beats per minute times your stroke volume, which is milliliters per beat. Stroke volume then is the volume of blood pumped with each heartbeat. The average stroke volume is about 75 milliliters per beat. ABI is the ankle brachial index. The ankle brachial index is calculated by listening to the blood flow while measuring blood pressure. The popliteal and dorsus pedis, those pulse points, can tell about blood flow in the feet. The differences in blood pressure in the arms versus in the legs may indicate a problem with the heart or blood vessels. So ABI is ankle brachial index. It's calculated by listening to the blood flow while measuring blood pressure. The popliteal and dorsus pedis, those pulse points, can tell about blood flow in the feet. Differences in blood pressure between the arms versus the legs can indicate a problem with the heart or blood vessels.